Good evening, everybody. It's Friday night. I hope everybody's got some good plans this evening, other than the DFS. Of course. Josh Kronfeld here with Justin Savage, our newest member here at RotoPros.com, going over tonight's 9-game NBA slate. First of all, it's exciting stuff. Welcoming Justin to the team. We're a big fan of his sheets, his write-ups, and his videos, and we think it'll be a great addition at RotoPros. Justin's going to be focusing on FanDuel. But he obviously his knowledge extends to DraftKings as well. But yeah, Justin, welcome aboard, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm super excited and stoked to be on board. It's there's a great thing going at RotoPros, with the Slack chat and the articles and the videos and so much content to be able to to contribute to and help people just learn how to be better daily fantasy sport players, whether it be FanDuel, DraftKings, or any site. We're really here to help, and I can't wait. I just say I can't wait to get started, but we're starting.
We're in, we're in, man. You're in the weeds now.
Yes, it's very exciting.
Yeah, cool. So without further ado, we'll dive right in, and we're gonna test out a couple different formats to this. This is something we want to do a lot more frequently, especially a couple times a week. Hopefully three times a week would be the bread and butter. The big slates for the second half of the year. That'd be the NBA season. That's our goal here. RotoPros.com. We have a really nice 1 month free membership right now. We're very excited and confident in what we have to offer and our core group of coaches here. And, so we're confident enough to give away that month because we know you're going to stay. So let us help you. Let us build those bankrolls together. Let's stay industry compliant and let's dig into this Friday night slate. Without further ado, Justin, let's start off with the Hawks at the Sixers tonight. I feel like this is just a matchup that's like happened a lot this year. I don't even know. Maybe it's just in my head. I feel like they faced off like 5 times. But do you have any interest in Embiid tonight? Maybe big time center, expensive, or any interest on the Hawks side? Let's start off with you here.
Yeah, so the game's got a over under 232 with the 76ers as a 12.5 point favorite right now. And I do like Embiid. He's 11-1 on FanDuel, but he's just the guy that can he can get less minutes but still get you 2.5 fantasy points per minute of playing time. Like he can easily hit value. He's got a great matchup tonight. Another guy I like that I don't think as many people are going to be on is Ben Simmons. If you're going to spend up at point guard, I think Ben Simmons would be the way to go. The 76ers are pretty good with Ben Simmons on the floor. But the thing is Atlanta's terrible against the point guard. And Ben Simmons plays all over the floor. He's not your average point of your, the 3-point shooter and, but he directs the floor. He gets a lot of assists, rebounds, points, he's all over. So he has a lot of upside. And, I checked everyone on, Philadelphia. I mean, some news we have is Redick. Is he playing? Is he not playing? That will definitely add some some interest to other players if Redick isn't playing. But if JJ Redick is playing, I definitely like him in formats in all formats as he has a great matchup. Atlanta's terrible defensively, but on the Atlanta side, there's not really many players I like because Philadelphia is not too bad defensively, but Atlanta just I don't know. I see why there's a 12.5 point favorite for Philadelphia here.
Yeah, there's a blowout risk tonight. Atlanta is just, John Collins is really the only interesting player for them, but he's so priced up at this point.
Right.
It is a negative matchup. Philly's front court is very strong. But yeah, you hit it on the hammer before. Trae Young's defense is terrible. So obviously, I like Ben Simmons. It's a good call. Just the blowout risk would be my only concern here.
Right.
And if Redick ends up missing it, then Korkmaz, again, blowout risk aside, would probably make for a decent cash play as he averages, over 20 fantasy points when he starts. So, okay, cool. We can move on to the next one. Bucks at Wizards. This is going to be an interesting game from a DFS standpoint tonight with Giannis missing out. Well, I mean, not officially, but he's not expected to play tonight. Who are you targeting in his absence?
Well, I put a check next to the players that I'm really excited for in this game, and it's pretty one-sided. I mean, there's maybe a couple guys on Washington, but for Milwaukee side, the Bucks side, I think Ersan Ilyasova is going to be getting the start at the power forward. There's big news with Bledsoe, because if Bledsoe doesn't play, that's going to be big. He's questionable right now, so with I think hamstring tightness, and that's pretty big. So I don't know what the Bucks are going to do here, but Middleton gets the biggest bump of usage. I think it's like 26 to 28% usage, with Bledsoe being not too far behind. But I really do like the Milwaukee side on this, because most of the players are priced accordingly. Middleton's like 7-2 on FanDuel, so definitely can hit value, and I think he is.
I think it's safe to say Middleton's cash, a must for cash tonight.
Oh yeah, easy cash lock for Middleton, as he's going to touch the ball a lot, and this is a over under 226 with Milwaukee as a 2-point favorite, which isn't bad at all. There's not a huge blowout risk as we'd see. So a lot of, like I said, I mean, even Lopez has a good matchup, as Bryant doesn't really protect the paint or the rim very well. So I mean, on that side, but definitely Middleton would be a cash game lock. Brogdon, if Bledsoe plays, which we should get the news before lock, because this game is at 7 p.m. I think Bledsoe would be a pretty close lock for cash as well at point guard.
Yeah, if he ends up playing, for sure, I agree completely. And then on the other side of this, obviously, we've been talking about Bradley Beal for a while. I'm kind of surprised his price isn't really going up, but I'm sure it will soon. When John Wall's out, which obviously he is for the rest of the year, Beal just pretty much plays well every single time.
Right.
So for me, Beal and Otto Porter are the cash game locks on this side of the ball. Maybe I wouldn't say Porter's a lock, but close to it, and they're pretty good cash plays if you ask me. But I like Lopez as well. He's been automatic from 3. Thomas Bryant's like 19 years old, so like he can get manned in the paint pretty easily. Cool. Moving on to the next one. We have the Nets at the Raptors. Again, it's a little bit of blowout risk in this one. But what are you checking out here? Other than, I mean, for me, I'll just say it's Ibaka is pretty. I target against the Nets big men every night.
Yeah.
So it's Ibaka for me, and that's about it.
No, yeah. So Ibaka in this game he's very solid play. He's a power forward on FanDuel, and he's a lock, as well as another player we'll get to later. But Ibaka, I really love in this matchup. It's hard to trust certain Nets players. D'Angelo Russell he's either a 50-point game or like a 20-point game, and that's a pretty big difference. He'll get in the middle and stuff, but his consistency isn't as great as I would like right now, and it's weird like how they're doing their starting lineups. Like the last starting lineup had Dudley, and it's just he's not a great player, and I don't think he really personally contributes as well to the floor for the Nets. So I do see the blowout potential. I mean, if you wanted to, the Nets are 25th in DVP versus the point guard. So Lowry, I see being a good GPP play. I don't usually play him as much when Leonard's on the floor. I hate when Leonard's hurt, but Lowry could definitely have a good game. But also Kawhi Leonard, could be a good GPP play too here, as they both match up well in their positions versus Brooklyn.
Yeah, we don't see them play together many nights this year, but they'll both be out there tonight. Cool. As I said, Ibaka for me. No one really.
Ibaka's a lock.
But yeah, Ibaka is just probably the
first price for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Pacers and Knicks. Moving on after that, we got questionable Darren Collison and Miles Turner, who's already been ruled out. Is anyone else you're interested here?
For the Pacers, I actually really like this side. I mean, it's a 219 over under with a 8-point favorite of the Pacers. So I mean, we'll see there. But Domantas Sabonis is for sure a lock with Turner out. New York's not too great against bigs, and there's another guy that I really like in this game that usually fares well in this narrative is Kyle O'Neal.
Kyle O'Quinn?
Oh, Quinn. Sorry, not O'Neal. I wrote down O'Neal. Kyle O'Quinn. Kyle O'Quinn. He's got he plays well versus former team, and I think Sabonis, he'll get the minutes, but they do need someone else to get out there. And I think if Kyle gets the minutes, he could be a good GPP play for you.
Yeah, I wrote him up earlier too. It's probably going to be a blowout, especially with Cantor missing out. So that being said, like if Sabonis is going to start and they need a backup, so Kyle O'Quinn should see upwards of 20 minutes tonight. And he's a pretty good per minute producer. So I like that play. We'll keep an eye on Darren Collison. I don't know if he's been ruled out or starting yet. He's been questionable, but obviously Corey Joseph would get a nice bump if Collison does get ruled out.
Very nice.
And obviously the joke of the day is Enes Kanter here.
Yeah.
The Knicks are tanking, so this doesn't really mean anything. In fact, I'm glad he's not playing because I want to lose as many games as possible as a fan. But yeah, I mean, he ate 7 cheeseburgers on Instagram, and now he's sick the next day. So.
Yeah. Another guy that I think is a good GPP consideration, I mean, even possibly in cash formats, is Thaddeus Young. He's been very, very consistent lately. He's been getting, 20, 30 plus points a game, and he's got a great matchup tonight. So, the Knicks just they can't really stop bigs, like I said. So, I do think, and he's good defensively.
Really good passing big man, so I could see that opening up the floor for Young too.
Yeah, definitely.
Young's a good knockdown shooter. Obviously Miles Turner is a great player, but even with Sabonis and Oladipo having incredible chemistry too. So they're a pretty good team even with Turner out. So they're not going to skip a beat tonight. And the Knicks secretly want to lose, so that'll be a pretty obvious game. Moving on, the Cavs and the Rockets. This is another good one from a fantasy perspective, but another probable blowout. So we've talked about, and I've written about how James Harden is just he's like one of those guys right now, kind of like what Russell Westbrook was when, a couple years ago when there was just no one in OKC with him that they just physically can't properly price for.
Right.
Harden is just like, until he won't reach this, but unless he were to reach like 14K, he's a no-brainer. Like literally for cash tonight, you have like 5 or 6 of the spaces already like filled out for you. So there'll be a lot of similar lineups amongst the sharps in cash games. But that's kind of nice. When it's obvious, it's obvious. And James Harden's obvious. Again, that's cash because of this probable blowout. You can look elsewhere. I don't have it in front of me, but people like Embiid would probably be another good expensive target. And like you said, like a Ben Simmons, I think the Warriors play tonight. We'll get to that, but or it's like Towns or something. So there's other options. I would definitely probably fade Harden in GPP. But we'll see. Cleveland's. There's been times where I've faded obvious guys like Harden against crappy teams like Cleveland, who you just assume the game's going to be over by halftime, but. Sometimes this is the NBA. Any team can beat any team on any given night, and sometimes you don't want to smack yourself in the head at the end of the night because Harden went for 90 again against the struggling Cavs defense. So
those are my favorite nights when you're tilting, when the first stud that you don't play, that you fade, is like 20 points deep in 4 minutes of play. And you're like, well, I'd rather not do that, because that's the thing, is like that's what's so crazy about Harden. He has like a 42% usage rate lately, and with that, like he can literally hit value by halftime or in 3 quarters. I mean, of course, it's not like likely by halftime, but in 3 quarters he could do it. And if they even keep it close and play a full game, I mean, he's a walking 60-point fantasy player, with a floor of 60 points and a ceiling of like 90. So, why would we fade him? It's just for cash, I just don't see fading him for cash. I mean, on the other side, say on the, if it were to be blow up potential, I really like Jordan Clarkson in this matchup. He's been playing really well lately. He's been his past 3 games have been over like 35 fantasy points on FanDuel, and he's just been playing solidly. And if he's been getting the minutes even in close games, so if it is somewhat of a blowout, I think he'll get the minutes. I think he really is a great 6th man, and There's some guys I do like for Houston as well, off the bench. Gerald Green, I think has a good matchup, and if he is to play a lot of minutes, which I think he will, because I just don't, without Chris Paul and without Eric Gordon, they're just a little bit thinner at the guard position. So, there's a few guys you can get, but I mean, the Harden, Gerald Green, and Jordan Clarkson are really the only guys I'm on for this game.
Yeah, totally. I agree with that as well. It's just probably going to be a blowout. If you think it'll be close for some reason, I would do like Thompson and Clarkson with like Harden and Capella or something like that. But that's just for a game stack. Saw some Embiid news real quick. Just want to make sure he wasn't like randomly ruled out or something real quick.
Yeah, that would tilt the slate.
He's questionable, but he's been questionable a lot recently, so I wouldn't read too much into that. That'll probably just
do the Pau Gasol that happened. He's probable, questionable, out, starting.
Same with Redick, still questionable, but so we'll just take a look on that later. All right, so the next game we have are the Mavericks and the Timberwolves. Dennis Smith ruled out again. Maxi Kleber got the start in his place last time. If he gets same thing, then I like Kleber some value tonight.
Oh yeah,
I love Doncic, period, but like especially on a night where they bump him into the starting point guard, I love him even more. The guy is just such a good distributor. And Derrick Rose is going to be back tonight for the Wolves. Interesting to see their new coach, what he's going to start doing, but I don't have too much interest in this game. Do you?
Yeah, I mean it's a 224 over under with 5-point favorites being Minnesota. I actually really like Teague in this position. I think Teague has a great matchup. I've always attacked Dallas through the guards. Is that a dog or a cat? Can't see.
He is a dog.
Okay, good. I'll say, man, if you have cats on a pod, that's just bad luck.
I'd rather him do this than make noise.
Yeah. No worries. But yeah, no, Teague, I like Teague a lot in this matchup because, like I said, Dallas, I mean, you can attack Dallas in a few different areas, but I think the point guard position is really good. And Teague has been pretty solid lately, and he's fairly priced. So there's a few different ways to go. I think Cat, he's I think 10,400 on FanDuel, and he's got a great matchup versus Dallas here. And the other player I do like is Kleber, Maximus Kleber. He's if he gets the start again, I do think that he can easily crush value.
He gets the start, we agree completely. He's a value play. Otherwise, I'm not interested.
Right, and then there's with Okogie, he's probably getting the start again with Covington out. So, but I don't think he's the greatest value. I mean, you could take a look at him, but I'd only. Sorry?
He's no upside.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he may get value, but yeah, there's no there's no getting past that. So those are really my picks on this game.
He's a guy that you're just like hoping and praying he hits value.
Yeah. Touch the ball. Please take a shot. Please take a shot.
He takes is like very important. He hits.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. Moving on, we have the Hornets and the Blazers. This is actually an interesting game. I like these two teams. Jeremy Lamb's back, or he was back last game, but his playing time was down a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on that. His price was up before the injury, so he's probably, Portland's not a bad defensive team. So Kemba, I think his price is down a little bit, so he's in play for game stacks here. We'll keep an eye on Damian Lillard. He's questionable. If he's out, obviously I like McCollum. He's a much higher usage with Dame off the floor, which is kind of a given. It's common sense, but that is a fact true. So yeah, I mean you got to keep an eye on this one. It's late. Thank God we have late swap back.
On DraftKings.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot. Yeah, got to get their crap together one day.
Yeah, they do.
They got rid of the kicker, but one day they'll just get late swap back in there. But
Yeah, no, I mean, this game, I don't have a ton of interest in this game. I mean, it's not a bad game, fantasy purpose wise. Like, but Lillard's shot has been kind of off, and he's just got like he just hasn't been. We haven't been seeing that upside. Like he's been priced, to where he can have that. Like we'd want to play him, but he just hasn't been showing us, that fantasy upside. I really actually do like Lamb in this position, even though his price is a little bit inflated. The Trailblazers have been terrible versus shooting guard. And so and Batum, usually plays the three now, so he's been playing more small forward. But I mean, Lamb, I think if you are to play anyone from Charlotte, he Lamb would be the way to go because they're what is it the Charlotte. And yeah, so Portland's like 28th in DVP with defensive versus position versus shooting guard right now.
too.
So
Yeah, we'll see. If Lillard's out, it'll be interesting to see who they start in his place. If it's like Seth Curry, then yeah, I mean, I would be all over Jeremy Lamb too. But if it's they go defensively, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Evan Turner's probably going to be in there for Harkless again, so he's a good defender. And I don't know. Maybe we'll see what they do. If they start like Zach Collins or something randomly and play
right.
two, then I have a little less interest. But yeah, all right, cool. Moving on, we have the Lakers and the Jazz. This is a cool game. Because of all the value on the Jazz side of the ball. I don't want to take up I just want to say all the names, so I'll leave some for you. But obviously, I'm sure we both have mutual interest in Donovan Mitchell with Rubio, Exum, and now Neto all on the shelf.
Yeah, no, I mean this game is a big fantasy game for cash games tonight. Not as much on the Lakers side, but with all those guards out, they're really thin for Utah, the Jazz. I mean, so Donovan Mitchell's going to have a huge bump. He's priced somewhat accordingly. I mean, he just put up a 50-point game or a 50 fantasy point game. But he's probably going to play the point guard, which I see being guarded by Ball. And Ball's fairly good defensively. So it depends on how they play tonight. But I love Donovan Mitchell. Royce O'Neal is a huge value. I think that should be locked into cash games, especially on FanDuel because he's priced accordingly. He's priced at the point that he can hit value, crush it, and get you those points. But worst case scenario, you do have that drop score. So I'd rather pay down for someone that can get me 25, 30 points. But if he doesn't, it's not going to kill you. But even on DraftKings, he's definitely someone that can easily hit value and do that starting and in this matchup.
Yeah. I agree with that. Joe Ingles is a little too cheap, or Ingles. Royce O'Neal will probably get the start. Obviously, we're both only interested in him if he starts.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert has a pretty good matchup as well. But yeah, I'm not that interested on the Lakers side of this. So we have sorry, did you have something else?
No, real quick, I was just going to say I also like Jay Crowder in this position too. I think he'll, with them playing more forward position type guys, I think they're, going to spread the minutes out a little bit. And I think Jay Crowder gets some run and has a good matchup in this game. And he likes to shoot the ball when he gets a lot of runs. So I think he has upside for tournament purposes.
Yeah, he's a savvy vet. I like Jay Crowder. He's been around the block, and he's a good player. Okay, cool. So lastly, we have the Bulls and the Warriors. This one's probably the biggest. That's like the theme of the night, blowout risk, literally. So
yeah.
This one's a 15.5-point spread. Should be pretty obvious what happens here. I don't really have interest in anyone, but I mean, we talked about it. If you're playing a lot of lineups, it's a good game to stack. Randomly, if for some odd reason the Bulls literally stay in it all night, odds are people like Curry, Levine, Durant, Portis or whatever, they're gonna have pretty good stat lines. And it'll be very low ownership because of the blowout risk. So I would like this game for GPP and GPP alone. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, there's one guy that I like in this game that I'm considering that, I'm not going to be as risky to say that he can even be cash game, but if you need to pay down for the position, I think Kevon Looney it has a great matchup. He's been playing decent minutes, but he's been getting a lot of points. For points per minute while he's playing. And even if he does, go 2.5, 3/4, he's only like 4,700. So to get you just over 20 points, and for a position that that isn't thin. I mean, you have some great players at this position, but if you need the money and you want to pay up somewhere, I think Kevon Looney is a great center to look into.
I like it. Yeah, good call. All right, let's let's sign us off here. But I guess before we go, why don't did you do a core article today? Maybe we'll throw out a couple core plays and then we'll take it off.
Yeah. So tonight, I'm gonna be putting it up, but I got the cheat sheet coming shortly on the Slack chat. Whoever wants to get in there, but some core plays I really have is James Harden. James Harden is easily one of the core plays that we want to throw in there. Chris Middleton is another core play to get in there. So that's your shooting guards, but those are almost guaranteed locks. Royce O'Neal, I am locking in for cash if he starts. I really like him. And then, there's a few other guys I'm like that I think we can get on, talk about some more in chat as well. But those are really great places to start building your lineup.
Yeah, FanDuel and DraftKings aside, both like the three Justin just mentioned. And then I'll give you a little like Sabonis I like a lot tonight.
Yeah,
McCollum if Damian Lillard's out for sure. Royce O'Neal, like you said, Ibaka. You have five or six of the cash spots kind of filled out for you there. So, RotoPros.com, we're really growing here. We're excited. We got a good group of guys, and the community is strong, and it's getting stronger. We're coaching you. We want to teach you. That's our difference maker from other websites. We want everyone to learn and interact with us and ask us questions. And we're giving away a free month. So there's literally zero reason to not give us a shot. Check us out, whether you're one of Justin's fans from before and you're just seeing us now, or, you're just someone who's on the fence and you're checking us out on YouTube, but we have a free 1-month trial. So please take advantage of that for your sake. All right, guys, happy Friday. Happy Friday, Justin. Thank you. We'll be back on Monday for our next show, and RotoPros.com. Check it out. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.